Welcome back, everybody. We're Music for Busy People.
Hope you have a lovely holiday.
He's Dev. I'm Mike. Dev was ill.
I was really sick. If anybody got that flu virus, whatever, that lived in your chest, I'm so sorry.
Well, you might hear a little bit of noise come out of her that isn't
That isn't normal, Dev.
normal, because she's still a little bit, but she's pretty much recovered, so here we are. One of the main purposes of our channel is to listen to entire albums, classic albums from the past, especially from my childhood, that I haven't heard in a long time, and that Dev probably hasn't heard at all, and listen to them as complete albums. We don't show the lyrics unless the album provided the lyrics, because we're trying to recreate when the albums first came out, the experience you were supposed to get, which is whatever the album gave you. Today we're starting Physical Graffiti.
Yes. I don't know what that is, but I love the name.
Well, you're about to be in for a treat. When I was younger, it was my favorite Zeppelin album. And I think for many Led Zeppelin fans, it's their favorite Led Zeppelin album. There aren't quite as many recognizable songs, say, as Led Zeppelin 4. That's probably the casual Led Zeppeliners' favorite album. But we all have our favorite albums, but I think for a lot of people, it's this one.
Interesting. Really?
Yes. Before we get too far into it, though, I want to start out by saying thank you to all those people that have been helping us out, especially our patrons.
Especially all the folks that show up for the live premieres. We have fun.
Yeah, showing up to live premieres is very appreciated too.
I'm enjoying that.
We
a
have,
lot.
we really have fun with that. And I want to especially thank our patrons. If you haven't checked out our Patreon yet, the link's in the description, and it's probably on the screen right now. We just finished doing the complete Song Remains the Same movie. The entire 2 hours and 45 minutes, uncut, full screen, HD on Patreon, as well as other things.
I'm officially deeply, deeply in love with Led Zeppelin.
Another exciting announcement.
Really?
Another way you can help us is if you like to give us a one-time tip or donation.
Yeah.
The thanks
Coffee money.
There'll be a thanks button on some of our videos. It's so people can put a highlighted comment and leave a tip. It appears in about half of our videos. So if it doesn't appear on this video and you wanted to give us a donation, just go to one of our other videos.
Okay.
Let's look down there.
Okay.
Is it down there? And of course, we appreciate all your comments. They're great. We also appreciate anything else you can do to help, like sharing our videos. Liking the videos helps.
Liking helps.
If you can find it in your heart, just click the little subscribe button. It's so appreciated. So like we always do when we start a new album, we're going to talk a little bit about the album as a whole, look at the album art, things like that.
Oh, that's neat.
This album, even though it's a double album, it didn't come in a folding sleeve. It's just a single sleeve. That's the front. And you see how it says Physical Graffiti in the windows?
Yeah.
That's an insert. If you take out the insert,
Oh, fun.
this is what the insert looks like.
Yay.
It's got the songs on there. That's the other one. But when you take out the insert, the
That's
sleeve that
nice.
the
That's
album
nice.
comes in, peeks through, and then that's what you see. You see like people in the window. And there's some famous people there. I see a pope. I see some band members, Elizabeth Taylor, Charles Atlas, some nun. I don't know. And then here's the back. The back also has windows that show up. I see Buzz Aldrin, I think. I see King Kong. It's a cool album cover. They recorded this album in 1974. It was supposed to come out towards the end of 74. There were delays because of the album sleeve, because it had the cutouts. So it actually didn't come out till, I think it was February 1975. This cover shot shows a building in the East Village of New York City.
And it's beautifully symmetrical, or at least that photo is.
Interesting fact, the Rolling Stones also recorded a video in front of this building. Waiting on a Friend, if you've ever seen that. This album was the first on their Swan Song label. This album was recorded at Headley Grange. They're going to have that cottage feel. They're going to be loose. This album definitely has a lot of varying styles on it. I think the band and a lot of critics consider this perhaps their creative peak. So when they recorded songs for this album, they had enough for more than an album. So they decided, hey, let's take some songs we haven't released that we have previously recorded and add those as well and make it a double album. So for instance, the Rover, which is the second song we're going to listen to today, that actually started out as an acoustic number back in 1970, but then they recorded it for Houses of the Holy album, but they didn't use it. So they put it on here instead. And this was very well received when it came out, for the most part. So they were flying high. They have a lot of long, epic songs in this album. During the recording of this album, John Paul Jones, he may have gotten ill or something, and he also was considering leaving the band because he was a little frustrated for whatever reason. I don't know the details of it, but I thought I read that somewhere. People in the comments will fill me in.
What?
That could be why this album has more keyboards on it, because they wanted to get him more involved because he was not feeling fulfilled for some reason. I don't know. I don't know the details behind it. I'm not going to speculate. The first song is Custard Pie. This held the favorite song position when I was a kid for a little while, I remember.
Aww.
Probably when I first heard this album.
That's nice.
Some of the lyrics are lifted and changed a bit from some other old blues classics. And if I recall correctly, there's a harmonica is back. Yay.
Yay.
Love that.
Yay.
And you're going to hear John Paul Jones playing the clavinet, which is an awesome instrument. Do you know what that is?
I think so.
Okay. Well, when you hear the keyboards, you're going to know.
Okay.
All right, let's get our listen on.
My aunt makes a custard pie with pears in it.
I think
Amazing.
custard pie refers to,
So
lady
good.
parts.
Oh, God. I want that. That is
Listen to the lyrics and see what you think.
Different. Okay.
This is a raunchy song, I think.
Totally thought something very, very down home and innocuous. So I'm down with this too, though. Let's see.
Okay, here we go. Custard Pie, first song on Physical Graffiti. Clavinet. This sounds like a Simple Please progression, but sort of different. I don't know.
I demand lyrics.
This is like a guttural, raunchy, raw song. Great drum sound. Heavy. I love that syncopation there. The keyboard is so awesome. Comes in early with this solo. Oh. Mama, save me a slice of your custard pie. Harmonica! Yeah, it's hard to get all those lyrics.
Is it just me, or does his voice sound gravelier than the last
Yes,
album?
very perceptive. I was going to comment about that.
He'd been hitting the road hard.
I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or if he's already started damaging his voice. He definitely had voice problems around this time. He stretched his voice too far and he actually did damage. Had to have surgery. But I love the sound of it. I mean, the sound of the guitar, the clavinet, and his gravelly voice, that all works in that song, to me at least.
It's funk.
That's a great opener.
Was he just saying drop down? Like, drop down.
Yeah.
Drop down.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Give me a piece of your custard pie. Save me a slice. I don't know. That's got to be...
Yeah, that totally obliterated the idea that I had in my head about apple custard pie.
I think on this album there's a lot of songs where the lyrics are hard to understand. But I really like his voice on this album, whether it was intentional or not. He's got a rougher sound on this album, harsher.
The favorites find you when they're supposed to find you. So I guess you were supposed to hear him like that first. And then all the other stuff.
I got to play some parts of that song again, if you don't mind. Real short. It doesn't sound like a standard blues song, but I think it might have had the standard blues chord progression in there. So they took that
synthesizer thing that whacks it all out.
Well, they're playing on top of it, but I'm saying the chord progression is the typical blues chord progression, which is if you know chords, it's a 1-4-5 combination of those chords. Let's say you start out playing an E chord or whatever chord you're playing. That's the dominant chord, right? So you start in E and you end in E. But then you go to 4, which would be A. So you would go E for a while, then you'd go to A, then back to E, then you go up to B, and back to A, E. So you're basically playing with those chords. So I'm going to play it again and listen to the chord progression. I'm going to put the chords up there when I put the video out. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. Okay. It's just the same chord. 4 bars of the same chord. And then that's the 4. See, but that's different. But then back to the main chord again. So that drop down was kind of different. That wasn't standard. And now it's a little higher. This is the 5, I think. Oh, that's different. Now back to the main chord. Okay, so it's not exactly. It sounded like it was going to go there, but it definitely changed it up a little bit. Usually it goes from 5, and then to 4, and then back to 1. That went from 5 to something else. It went up instead of down, and then it went back to 1 again. They put in like syncopation and the clavinet. The way they're performing it, it doesn't sound like a standard blues song. I want you to hear the solo, and it's being played through a synthesizer, I think, because it has it's not a typical guitar sound. And then he uses the wah-wah, especially in the beginning, to come in with like wah, wah, wah. I mean, it's just, it's raunchy and raw. And it comes in early. When it's about to transition, he just comes in before the transition's over and then gets into it.
I find that very subtle. It's not.
Listen to this end part, though. It's like it's talking to you. It's like the guitar is talking to you.
Yes.
And it's
I didn't know that.
It's just like told you off there at the end. I love that in-your-face solo. Oh, I love it. Jimmy Page is the master of coming up with a short, simple riff that just rocks out like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that riff is that complicated. And it's just like one measure. That's it. But you repeat that and it's, it's amazing what he comes up with these things.
I'm surprised that was him though for a minute. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. It's not
explain
his
it.
playing. It's the actual sound of the guitar that he's playing.
He's putting it through a synthesizer or something. Plus he's using the wah-wah pedal. I love the drum sounds of this song too.
Yeah, that was fun.
I got to play this one other part. Okay, so there's a drum fill that comes in. It's just 2 tom-toms, but they're so huge sounding. It hits me somewhere deep in my soul when he does that.
Oh,
Listen.
I'm happy for you.
Put that on with big speakers with a subwoofer. So I could see that why that was my favorite song.
Yep.
It was a very hard-rocking, riff-based song, and I liked that stuff. All right, the next song is The Rover. This song was originally recorded for Houses of the Holy, but not used. Apparently there was an acoustic version of this at first, back in the Led Zeppelin 3 days when they were coming up with acoustic numbers. I think he added some overdubs and then put it on the album. So there's different guitar parts on here that he added later. Okay, The Rover, second song on Physical Graffiti. It's a great drum opening. Another nasty sounding guitar. This drumming is great. Long instrumental intro. Like a entire verse and chorus before the vocals even come in. His vocals are definitely different during this song. If we could just join hands. Syncopated hits are always awesome.
This is a great song.
It's amazing that it gets overlooked. This might be going through a synthesizer too. All the hits on the upbeat are cool.
That's beautiful.
That time is flying. Sip a candle burning low. It's the new world rising from the shambles of the old. Could just join hands if we could just join hands. If we could just, if we could just, if we could just, if we could just, if we could just join hands.
Tell it. Tell it, Percy.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Not much for the bass to do here. It's a good bass sound, though.
Oh, when rock was a thing. Mm.
Can you believe they left that off of, like, that wasn't good enough for whatever reason, didn't fit for House of the Holy?
No,
Maybe,
it belonged on this one for whatever reason.
yeah, I think maybe they didn't use it because it was not progressive enough for what they were going for on House of the Holy. A lot of the songs on this album, I would say the majority still are coming back to their hard rocking basics.
And we love them for it. I was enjoying myself greatly.
Yeah, you said it was beautiful.
That
Were you
was-
talking about the lyrics or the what the guitar was playing?
guitar progression.
Yeah.
How it
During
circled
the-
back to that. That was
you liked the chorus. You thought the
That was
guitar
a-
chorus part was great, yeah.
very satisfying meal, if you're listening.
Yeah, and that
For
song gets
buffet.
overlooked.
Like
You
a
don't
really
hear
good
it that much. And a lot of people, I'm sure most people that aren't big Led Zeppelin fans haven't heard that song.
I've never heard it.
They never really played it in concert, at least not the whole song. They might have used the riff to introduce other songs like they tended to do.
It's a very fun song.
Yeah.
A quirky one. I like all the weird ones.
Yeah.
All the stuff that everybody says, hey, that's weird of theirs. I'm like, yes.
She likes the weird ones. We all know
I
that.
like the weird ones.
I like the weird ones too, but I like the non-weird ones better. So Robert's voice sounded, there was something, I don't want to say off.
No, just gravelly.
Dissonant, maybe? It's not my favorite song that he sings. I love the song. I do like his singing on it, but it's not my favorite. So that was fun, everybody.
Most
I'm glad
enjoyable.
we're into physical graffiti finally.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Lots of physical graffiti goodness coming up. See you next time. Here it comes. Here comes the
That
phlegm.
flame's here for a long time now.
Here
I'm allowed
comes
to
the
say that
phlegm.
shit.
It's a great song, and considering like it
Hoover.
wasn't good enough to make the album, but it is good enough for an album. The Rover, not the Hoover. Oh, I'm gonna do that.